friend. I'm so happy you are here. Welcome to Strawberry Shift Tree Pose Part 2, where we are going to talk today about contemplation. So in Tree Pose, we cover meditation, and then there's contemplation, and there's inner child work. So today we're going to talk about the power and the value and the magic of contemplation. And you might wonder, wait a minute, contemplation? How is that different? Well, I've got to share with you one of my favorite books written by my best friend. Okay, he doesn't know he's my best friend yet, but he will be. Richard Rudd, The Art of Contemplation. Get this book, get it now. Get it. The Art of Contemplation. It is so good. Or get it on Audible. He has an English accent and it's delicious. It's just beautiful. And Richard's a poet, so the way this book is written is so beautiful. Now, why is contemplation important? So if you watched my video before on meditation, so meditation is more about going within and slowing down. And it's a deliberate conscious practice, diving deep inside. And it's more about calming the mind and not necessarily always stopping our thoughts, but observing our thoughts. So I'm going to read to you what Richard wrote about the difference between contemplation and like mindfulness and meditation, because what he says is just so beautiful. So it's in the book that you're going to get, The Art of Contemplation, on page 3. He says, the main difference between contemplation and either mindfulness or meditation is that contemplation also uses the mind in a proactive way. We make use of mindfulness by inwardly watching our mind, our emotions, and body, but with contemplation, we are also doing something active. Contemplation engages the power of mind, emotion, and body. It fuses and uses their energy to bring about an increased state of self-awareness, freedom, and general prosperity. Hello, prosperity. I'm going to touch on that in a minute. Thus, the real power of contemplation is that it naturally turns into decisive action, and that action brings about fundamental changes in our life. Ta-da! Okay, warning, Mandy's gonna rant here with you. We have some real talk here, you and me. Oh man, I don't know how long you've been a coach or been in the coaching industry, or if you're not a coach and you are someone just loves this conversation, or you're a therapist or healer. This industry has been, if you've heard me talk about it before, has just been so contaminated with get rich quick schemes that don't work. And it breaks my heart and it angers me because anger can be a sign that you are upset about an injustice. And that's where my anger comes from, is an injustice, in that I see so many beautiful souls like you and me who have been preyed upon because of our goodness of heart. And if you're anything like me, I will say that I've been more on the naive side, and I've paid for money for things, and I've bought things that people promised, and then I got into it and it wasn't anything like I thought it was, right? Am I the only one? I'm going to be 50 in 4 years. So this has taken me a long time to get this lesson, okay? So hopefully you can benefit from my journey. That one sentence, it fuses and uses their energy to bring about an increased state of self-awareness, freedom, baby, and general prosperity. Oh, why is that so important to you? Why? Oh, that is gold. Here's the thing. Guess what? If you heard my story, I came up with Strawberry Shift in a meditation. Well, actually, I have to give you like the Snapchat version when I tell it. Our attention spans are so short. In my meditation, what I got is to help coaches with compassion and strawberries. That's what I got in my meditation. And then I talked to my beautiful wise niece, Kendall, who was, my ego immediately started making fun of what I got in my meditation, because that's what my ego does. My ego was like, oh, that's silly. Isn't that weird? And then thank goodness I was living with she's like 108 and a 23-year-old body. And she's, I call her Yoda or the fairy, or what's the turtle's name on Kung Fu Panda? She's just so wise. And when I shared it with her, she goes, "Ooh, I like it." Like she got excited. And I was like, "Yeah, but strawberries? Like that's so random." And then she brought up Harry Styles and she's like, don't knock the power of fruit. And then she showed me about all these songs that, Harry Styles has made famous just singing about fruit. And, and she's the one I have to give credit to for having me look up the symbolism of the strawberries. Because have you even looked up what the strawberry symbolizes? And I was like, no. She's like, well, maybe you need to look that up. And then that's when I looked it up. And it moved me so much that within a week I got a tattoo of the strawberry. Now, let me share with you something about Kendall that not very many people know, unless you were best friends with her and you're lucky enough to be in her inner circle. Kendall is a master at contemplation, a master. Why? Because I don't know anyone on planet Earth who journals more than she does. Because you think of journaling and she's like constantly getting out her thoughts. She has journals, so many journals. And then she actually has, and I want to put a link, I'll put a image of her journal that she created. She actually created a journal for people who want to learn how to journal, because she's so passionate about journaling and she knows how journaling can change your life. So if you're not journaling, that is also a very powerful way. So I would love for you to get The Art of Contemplation and then also Kendall's journaling book, because it is such a powerful way to capture your thoughts. We live in a culture where almost all of us have ADHD of some sort. We're so busy. We're all addicted on some level. We're all on the spectrum for being addicted to our phones. So I'm so grateful for Kendall's ability to contemplate, because if she wasn't, Strawberry Shift wouldn't even exist. That's how powerful contemplation is. Strawberry Shift is my life's work now. So kind of a big deal. I started contemplating, and because I had my own contemplation practice, that's actually how I came up with the Strawberry Shift framework, because I knew, okay, how am I going to put this of what I do and how I do the work that I do? How am I going to teach this? Because I was unconsciously competent. I just did it. I just got on, put on my headset and I just showed up and I did it. And I thought, how am I going to teach a group of people? How am I going to feel of integrity to charge and format this? And how many should I do it? And how do I figure all this out? The only way I was able to figure this out and to answer these questions was both through my meditation practice and through contemplation. I would have not been able to do it though if I didn't have a contemplation practice. Because another thing that Richard Rudd talks about in here is that contemplation is kind of like meditation with creativity. So whenever I have a problem to solve or an issue that I am maybe perceiving as impossible or a burden that I wish I didn't have, I know that I can contemplate about it. I know that I have this power within me with my meditation practice, and now my contemplation practice, I've been able to rely on the power that is inside of me. I wouldn't have been able to do that had I not started these practices. And it's impossible to influence and inspire anyone else or a client if I wasn't doing it myself. Now, I inspire my clients to meditate and to contemplate. Why? Because I do it. It's so easy. I think of, Jesus says, yo, I like to add the yo, I am in this world, but I'm not of it. I'm in this world, but I'm not of it. Buddha said, don't be attached. How do we not be attached? How do we be in this world, but not of it? How do we do that? I believe we do it by meditating and by having a contemplation practice. And then when we do that, we start trusting ourselves. We start trusting, and I like to call it my heart. I like to call it the wisdom of my heart. I feel very comfortable with those words. You can use whatever words resonate with you, but I really believe in the power and the wisdom of following my heart. I'll give you another example. It's really fascinating. Every Thursday, I lead a group of beautiful souls in my Strawberry Shift Society. So it's a small group because I keep it small because of the psychology of safety. Do you know that if a group is over 15 people, it breaks the psychology of safety? People don't feel safe that they can get vulnerable. I mean, think about it. Like, are you really going to tell some of your darkest secrets and some of your most vulnerable moments in a group of like 150? You're not going to do that. In our Strawberry Shift Society, some of my favorite moments have been, I haven't even told my husband this. Some of my favorite, like, we've cried in that group, cursed in that group, shared secrets in that group, and it's because I've deliberately and consciously made it safe. And every single week I meditate on what to hold space for that group. And I have a format and a structure that I follow because routine and having a structure creates safety too. And when people know what to expect, that also creates safety. That's why, like, if you've ever been to like a 12-step meeting, if you go to a 12-step meeting in Boise, Idaho, it's going to be similar to a 12-step meeting in, New York City, right? If you're in like AA, you like that because it's like, okay, I have that safety. I can count on that. I know we're going to read the 12 steps, we're going to read the traditions and so on. Well, in my Strawberry Shift Society, I wanted to create that same feeling of safety so that people could start letting their guards down and they could start being vulnerable, because that's how we heal, right? Because it's like peeling back the layers. Again, this is more of an unlearning. Last night, my heart guided me to try something new, and I was a little nervous. And I noticed my mind was like, I don't know if you want to mess that up. I don't know if they're going to like that. I don't know why when I talk my mind that, again, I'm doing this by myself. I got to entertain me. So my mind was like, I don't know. What if they don't like it? You're messing with it. You already have a good role. They love what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. But I am very dedicated, fiercely dedicated to following my heart. Again, that's why I can't remember where to point. That's why I got my lion. My lion is my spirit animal because it takes a lot of courage to follow your heart. So I did it. I was a little nervous about changing. I mean, we've been doing the same thing since January, and now it's the end of July. And so this was something completely new. And I'm like, I'm going to experiment with you guys. I'm going to try something completely new. And they trusted me. I developed that trust. It was very vulnerable for them to do this. And they did it. They did it, and it was so good. So good. It was so beautiful. It really inspired me. And because I did that, I got on a high afterwards. I came up with another idea that I believe is going to be huge, is going to have an awesome ripple effect, that no way would I have come up with this other idea if I hadn't have followed my heart in the first place. So it's so interesting because I'm in this world of, lots of marketers, and I love them because so many of them are, I have dear friends who are marketers and so many clients who are marketers, and there's nothing wrong with them. They're beautiful. It's wonderful. And there's a magic and a science to that. Here's the thing where I believe that us coaches get caught up and give our power away. You could still take elements and pearls of wisdom from some of these marketing geniuses and some of these marketing wisdom, but that's not how greatness is created. That's not how you make your mark, and that's not how you make the impact that I know your heart wants to make. It's by you going inside here, because no one else is you. So when you try and follow a certain recipe and, follow exactly what someone else is doing, then you're going to be just like them. And that's just like a copy. And that's not what the world needs. The world needs you. The world needs the uniqueness of you. And the best way that I have discovered, and the best way that I've experienced, and the best way that I've witnessed and coached, encouraged, and inspired other people to become their authentic selves is through a daily meditation practice and a daily contemplation practice, and getting in touch with their inner child, which we're going to talk about next. So thank you Thank you for listening. And I will love to hear when you get the Art of Contemplation book. Tell me what you think. Tell me what was your favorite part. Tell me what contemplation practice that you're doing. Tell me your epiphanies and ahas. I'd love to hear about it. Remember, the strawberry symbolizes the zeal of God, which means enthusiasm for love. And doesn't the world need more of that? Thank you for being here.